think I like the Ghost more than C4, but I don't think I really like them more than Red Bull. But I think it's because I like the actual sugar more than...
Garen's a C4 person.
Some of the C4s are really good. Some of them have a bit too much aspartame aftertaste for me.
He got me, there was a -1 C4, Godzilla -1 C4, and he got that for me for Christmas. That was sick.
Yeah, there's a Phillies Ghost that I have up there. Probably because, they bought out the naming rights of Harry the K's, but we don't need to talk about how the ghost of Harry the K's is cursing this season.
There we go.
We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it at all. This team sucks. We're second to last in the division, only behind, hilariously, the Mets, who are on an 11-game losing streak.
It's all about the Mets, baby.
The backslide is real. It's over. It's fine. It is what it is. This is not how I wanted to start this episode. I had a completely different joke lined up.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, here it comes. Coming at you. So pick it up, yo. You better catch it. The bad boys are back on the block. Tip for the topic can't be stopped. You have no idea what this is.
I have no clue. What have I failed? How have I failed you today?
No, you wouldn't know this. Renew and improved and got the grand groove. Pump it up, just jump. I don't know the whole thing.
What the?
It swings like the mighty Thor. You better call out the Fantastic Four.
Oh.
There's another line here I don't remember, but it ends with, whoa, whoa, WrestleMania. That's it. I'm not talking about it. That shit sucked. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Playoffs.
Yes, those. You gave me your first round ones, and I put them in.
Yes.
And I need to make sure I am correct.
Okay.
Because I was vehemently wrong with the NFL ones. I know the Stanley Cup finals are like pure bracketology. Here's your brackets. These are set. Is NBA the same way?
NBA is the same way.
Okay. All right. Cool. Got it. Boom. So I have done my entire postseason predictions. I put them in. Obviously, with access to everything. I need yours, and then we can obviously go over the thing. Just for Eddie, because who knows when the fuck this episode will make it out, because I am behind on everything.
Okay.
For the people who, before anyone says anything, these were determined the evening of April the 18th and the morning of April the 19th, before the actual either playoffs started, but after the... What are the play-ins? What are these now?
The play-ins is just for to determine a 7th and 8th seed in both conferences.
Okay. But after those,
yeah.
So... Well, actually, I did mine before because I realized that no matter who won was probably going to be... Yeah, you had a similar thing. No matter no matter who Detroit or Oklahoma City were playing, they were going to win. They were going to move on, so it didn't matter. So I have your first here.
Well, I'm already not in love with... When I made my first rounds, the one thing that I was really not sure on was Lakers-Rockets. And then it basically came down to, I don't think the Rockets will let it get long enough to Luka Doncic to be back. And then it came out that Kevin Durant is like more hurt than we thought and might not play for the Rockets as early as we thought. So now the Lakers have a chance to really win. So actually, I think if I were to change anything, it would be Lakers. But I already made my decision. I got to stand by it.
Yeah, and we have the redemption pick stuff later if something actually ends up fucked up.
So you want me to just go through?
Really quickly go through your first round picks, and then if I can get early predictions for the rest.
Thunder over the Suns. Suns are ass. I just explained my stuff about the Rockets over the Lakers, but I think now I would change my mind. But I'm going to hope that Kevin Durant can come back, be healthy, and they can figure that out, and Luke Kennard doesn't drop 37 points every game. Then I have Nuggets Timberwolves. I have Timberwolves over the Nuggets. I just think Anthony Edwards is better than Joker is right now. I think the Timberwolves are better than the Joker-led Nuggets. I don't think the Nuggets will have enough. And then the Spurs have the best player in the league. So, Victor Wembanyama, I think, is the best player I've ever seen play basketball. But he doesn't have the resume, so it's bold to make that prediction. What's the other side?
Pistons over the Magic.
Yep, it's Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic, have you ever seen the back of a garbage truck and the juice that comes out of the back of that truck? That's the Orlando Magic. That's a reference nobody will get. Cavs over the... Who?
Toronto. The Raptors.
That's going to be close, man. Toronto's a good team, but I do think just the talent on the Cavs will pull that through. Depends on what version of James Harden they get if he's playing and if he stays healthy, because he just can't stay healthy. Knicks will beat anybody they play, and then the Celtics over the
Philly.
Yeah. Not much to say there.
I like spoiler for mine, which I guess we can get to now. I just pure, absolutely do not deserve the confidence. I have 76ers over Celtics. I will freely admit that's almost definitely not going to happen.
No.
But I gotta believe a little bit, and two, it gives me a playoff series of New York and Philly, which we'll lose. We'll get absolutely demolished if we make it that far. But
I don't. Yeah, I think you would actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's fine. 76ers aren't supposed to be here, but we're here, and isn't that nice? Raise the banner. And I ended up agreeing with your one thing, Detroit over Orlando, which I actually picked before because I was like, it was going to be what? Orlando or...
Cut Charlotte.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, like everything that I've known by Tanner, and everything the betting odds, I looked up betting odds, looked up some expert things. I don't really fully know what's going on, but I had some ideas. But it was like Pistons over the Magic, Cavaliers over the Raptors, Thunder over whoever. I actually did take the Lakers over the Rockets. That might just be because I know who the Lakers are.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe.
I don't hate that.
Wolves over Nuggets, Spurs over Portland, and then I have Thunder going all. I have Thunder going all the way, and just
it's gonna
repeating again. Now I do have Spurs meeting them in the quarterfinals where they run into each other because I heard that was
this year
the biggest possibility.
The NBA Finals is the Western Conference Finals. I don't think there's anybody in the East that is even close to probably the top 3 teams in the West. Genuinely, I don't know if the best team in the East beats like the 4th or 5th team in the West. Because I think the Nuggets, Timberwolves, Spurs, and Thunder are all absolutely amazing teams. And I don't know if the Pistons or the Knicks or definitely not the Cavs, like, I don't think there's anybody out East that can really do anything to them. I would agree with you. I don't know if I agree with you, man.
But I'll finish up the other side of mine, and then we'll get your full all the way through. So on the East side, Pistons demolish Pistons don't. Pistons don't get to face the 76ers because the Knicks demolished the 76ers. Yeah. Pistons win over the Cavs. Pistons and Knicks. I have Pistons go to the final. Final Thunder and Pistons. Thunder goes over. Feels correct. It probably won't be. I don't know.
They're the favorite, I think.
They are.
Yeah, I would say they have to be a favorite. Well, I don't know.
My Zach opinion is the Spirit of Philadelphia runs strong, and that'll get them not far, but somewhere. And that's it. And I'm probably already wrong because round 1 has already happened and they've already lost a game. But, it is what it is. We're wearing the gold throwbacks the entire time or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't actually pay attention to this bullshit.
So I would go Thunder over the Rockets.
Okay.
And then the Spurs over the Timberwolves. Then on the other side, I would take Pistons over the Cavs. And then Celtics over the Knicks. I don't think there's a world where we beat the Celtics 2 years in a row in the playoffs.
That's fair. I think there is, but I understand your concern.
Out East, I think... I don't believe in the Pistons to be good, like that good.
Uh-huh.
And the Celtics have been there and done it. I think the best player in the series is Jaylen Brown, and I think the second best person in the series is Jason Tatum. Then I think it's Cade Cunningham. So this is probably going to be unpopular, but I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to put the Celtics in the finals. Thunder Spurs is so hard because when I've seen San Antonio play the Thunder this year, they've looked like the better team every time. Now, that's the regular season. I get that, but... Victor Wembanyama is the next generation's LeBron James. Of, like, if he's on the court, that team has every chance to win that game. And I really want to send them to the finals. Like, that's what my gut's telling me. That, like, Because as good as the Thunder are, they didn't look great in the playoffs last year. Especially, like, if we're going to be real, if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get hurt in the first 15 minutes of the finals, the Pacers won an NBA championship because they were outplaying them the entire time. Up until that happens. And then they stayed close for 2 more quarters. Oh, I know this is stupid. I'm going Spurs. And I got Spurs to win it all. I'm going purely off my gut and vibes.
Rules-wise, points-wise, it's not exactly the same as the NFL playoffs because it's not bracketed there, but same sort of thing. Points based off round, 1 point for first round, 2 points second round, 4 points for the semis, and 8 points for the finals. If the predictions given today are correct, of course.
Yeah.
If not, there's the half-point redemption picks. So that way, no one is truly out of it. Or if that were just all wrong the first round, we're just not sitting here just like, oh, well, the playoffs are still happening. Speaking of playoffs that are still happening, why does this happen still? Why do they happen at the same time?
Oh, the NHL?
Yeah.
I'm going purely... It would be inauthentic of me to act like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to hockey. Because it's generally the only sport I know zilch about. I know at one point the Blackhawks were the best team in the world, and then now they are absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that's also
I know
true.
Philly has never ever been actually a contender
Since the 70s.
Yeah. Since I almost said, you know what name I almost just said instead of Wayne Gretzky? I almost said Lou Gehrig. That's bad. And I know that the Canadians love their sports.
Despite not actually winning a
NHL
championship.
They love it, but they don't. And I know the Bruins, and we all hate the Bruins.
Yeah, kind of.
So I'm going to go purely off of your mom picks a playoff bracket, and I'm going to go off of what I think looks nice. I'm going to go Knights over Oilers and Wild over the Kings. And what's the other side of that bracket?
Buffalo Sabres versus Tampa Bay.
Oh, I'm taking Tampa Bay because I know that pisses you off. I'm taking the Lightning. And the Hurricanes and Penguins are really close. I'm going to go with the Hurricanes because I have an inkling that they are just a good team. But I really like the Penguins. The Penguins have the best logo in hockey. That's my opinion. And then I'll go Hurricanes over the Lightning and the Knights over the Wild. And then the Hurricanes to win it all.
So let's talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, then I'll give us actual analysis.
So I can only give so much, but let's talk about the wild things that are going on here. Buffalo and Philly are in these playoffs.
I'm looking at your thing. I just have your two losers winning.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
You're not completely off. The Hurricanes and the Golden Knights are both good teams.
Yeah.
Golden Knights just won. I don't think. Was it last year? It might have been the year before. For some reason, I don't remember who won. Literally just last year. But
wasn't it Florida? It was the Panthers, wasn't it?
Was that last year? I know
they went back to back. I thought
they did go back to back. That did happen.
I thought that was last year, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Did they go back to back, and then it was Golden Knights the year right before?
That sounds right to me.
Because it might literally go Avalanche, Golden Knights, Panthers.
Who I noticed are not in the playoffs.
Panthers, no, they have fucked themselves a little bit.
You won back-to-back titles. How fucked are
like that's true. The Knights are good. The Knights have always been good. The Knights were Vegas got an expansion franchise, and they were bankrolled out the ass. So they drafted and got anyone that they could. Now, I don't think it's crazy to take them going in and going far. That being said, now that we're here and picks are final, we can look at what's going on. and see that I believe they actually lost their first game last night. Oh no, they did end up coming. They came back and win. All right, that's good for predictions. But their opponent, the Mammoth. You know about the Utah Mammoth?
They used to be the Arizona Hockey Club?
Kind of. No, but yes.
Okay.
They are a separate... It was called the Arizona Coyotes, by the way.
Oh, okay.
They are a separate, completely new franchise that just happened to be starting the season after Arizona folded. So instead of an expansion draft, they just gave them their roster.
Oh, wow.
So, spiritually, I suppose the Utah Mammoth are just the Arizona Coyotes. But they are functionally different. Kind of. I don't know how else to put that. But so technically this is their first playoff appearance. Oilers and Ducks.
Banger name.
Hell yeah for the Ducks doing their rebrand to their new stuff and almost immediately coming into their own. That's awesome. We love the Ducks. Avalanche or this team is just always good, it seems like.
Yeah.
So Stars and Wild feels like the crapshoot to me. It's like, yeah, one of these teams will win. I pick the Stars. It doesn't matter. They're both... Whoever it is loses to the Avalanche. So, Avalanche Golden Knights, that might be a bit closer, but I think Avalanche goes through. The East is where the real fun is. Hurricanes and Senators, congratulations on the Senators for being here. Canadians and Lightning.
Yep.
Congratulations on the Canadians for being here. I feel a little bit bad. I actually don't think the Lightning are that good, but I also don't think the Canadians are that good either. Hurricanes and Senators. Hurricanes are probably just going to win. Yeah. Looking at the standings from last night, it actually looks like the Canadians managed to get a win over the Lightning in the first game of the series, but like the Senators got the floor mopped with them. It just is what it is. Sabres and Bruins. That's, I think, the interesting matchup, so I'll come back to that. Flyers and Penguins, it's the Battle of PA. You're wrong. I'm sorry. If there's anything that I would trust the Flyers to do, it's to shit on the Penguins specifically. It is the exact same thing I said with the NBA, except there's actual weight behind it, because the Flyers are actually somewhat good, and the Penguins are not that good. They're fine. They're all right. They're both playoff teams. And I think, they're both playoff teams, and I think they both are, actual functional playoff teams. But this is, the part of the seeding where the teams are actually matched. Not, first seed versus last seed. This is where they meet. So, I think the games are going to be really interesting, but the Flyers are taking the series. They're going to do the one thing that Philadelphia can do regularly, and that's put Pittsburgh in their grave. And then immediately fail the next playoff round. That's the most Philadelphia thing I can think of. Sabres and Bruins. All cards on the table. The Sabres shouldn't be here.
Okay.
Now, I know you might look at the rest of my thing and say that seems at odds with what... But let me explain. The Sabres shouldn't be here as in walking into this season and every season for the past... Imagine this. Imagine if this season started and the Flyers were somehow the most dominant team in the entire NHL.
Okay.
That is what happened. That doesn't make sense. The Buffalo Sabres being as good as they were this year does not make sense. But they are here. They are top seeded on their side of the bracket. And, and I actually have the confidence in them to win the whole thing.
You know what's crazy about that? Up until about 2 or 3 months ago, I've always been the teams of destiny never win. They just don't win. Because at the end of the day, star power shines through. And that's just how the league, that's just how sports are.
Yeah, a lot of times.
And then I watched the Seattle Seahawks dog walk every single team that they played. And they had, legit, and no disrespect to anybody on that team, they had no star power. There was not a single star on the Seattle Seahawks. Their biggest stars were probably Kenneth Walker, and Jackson Smith and Jigba is probably their star. But kind of became the star this year. Everybody knew he was good. He's a good receiver, but now he has his awards, and now he's really kind of solidified himself. But they didn't really have nothing. They had Sam Darnold. Nobody believed in Sam Darnold. I did, but we're not going to talk about that. But so now I kind of have to I always go back and look at improbable playoff teams and improbable champions. Like you go in the NBA, there's been one team to ever win the finals from not a top 4 seed. And that was the Houston Rockets in either 95 or 96. They won it as a 6th seed, but they also had the best player in the league in Hakeem Olajuwon because Michael Jordan was retired. So they had star power. They just happened to not put it together throughout the regular season, but they won. And I go back through, like, you can even go back in football, trying to think of improbable teams that went far. The New England Patriots team that played the Bears in 1985 were the darling, and they got annihilated in the Super Bowl by the Bears. These teams don't really win. But then Seattle did. So now there's proof. So I don't know. I haven't believed in teams of destiny, but I guess when you finally give me the context and you give me a case study, I can't say it hasn't happened.
So the other main thing here, I think, that helps Buffalo out is their potential matchups. They beat the Bruins, who are maybe hard, but the Bruins have been the example of exactly what you said, the good team that just doesn't win. They had their super dominant season, and they got bounced round 1. Mm-hmm. It's just, they have not made it in any depth in any of these playoffs, and now they're starting to slip, as far as, they're one of the last seeds coming into this thing. So Sabres take there, and then their next matchup is either the Lightning or the Canadiens. Just... And then after that, it'll be what? The Hurricanes, the Senators, the Flyers, or the Penguins. I'm not a big they had an easy playoff run kind of guy, but if there was an easy playoff run here, you
take it.
They have a path to the finals. Whereas on the West, it's a little bit more iffy. Now, do I think the Sabres can beat the Colorado Avalanche or the Vegas Golden Knights? Clearly I do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that the Sabres are actually going to win the whole thing, and I do good on them. Buffalo can have something nice for once, because God knows their football team hasn't delivered for them.
I feel so bad for Buffalo, man. Don't get me talking about the Bills right now, man.
Let's not.
Let's not.
But
draft coming up soon.
Yes, it is. I keep hearing about this. Is it not also in Pittsburgh?
Oh, I have no clue.
I think it's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, sure.
There's a bunch of Philly versus Pittsburgh stuff because of the hockey. So I think...
I don't know where the draft is. I know I'll be watching it with the boys, a.k.a. my dad and his best friend. That'll be really fun. We're going to get a big old pizza.
You guys both got to wait till the back end of the draft?
Well, no. Me and my dad's friend do. My dad is a Commanders fan who will be picking 7th? Or even higher than that? I can't remember. But Dad will be done really early. I said, that's so funny. We basically swapped. I said, for the first time ever, my team will be picking last out of all 3 of our teams. Because my dad's friend is an Eagles fan. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that'll be the first time. And then he looks at me, my dad's friend goes, and the only time.
I don't know, man. I know historically, but...
You want to talk about the Eagles?
Not at length, but we can.
I want to touch on because I got to say something.
We can do a little chit chat here about it.
I'm not one to ever admit I'm wrong about anything because I'm a prideful man, but I have been a very vocal defender of Jalen Hurts on this podcast.
Yeah.
It has got to the point where they are basically trading AJ Brown.
Yeah, the rumor is to the Patriots, right?
Yeah. If it's keep Jalen Hurts and lose A.J. Brown, I think that is the objectively wrong decision. I think I have to stop holding on to the 2 amazing Super Bowl performances and look at what I've seen. And the offense doesn't not work because A.J. Brown is bad. A.J. Brown had a bad season. He still broke 1,000 yards. A.J. Brown is not the problem with the Eagles' offense. Whether it's coordinator, quarterback, A.J. Brown is not the problem. And maybe it comes out that he was a locker room cancer, and he's horrible, and he's caused a bunch of problems backstage. I don't think that's true. because he didn't do that in Tennessee. And Tennessee was bad. Not bad the whole time he was there, but nobody, and maybe in the organization they have different feelings, but nobody ever thought Tennessee was ever going to win anything. They had Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. They were never going to win anything. He didn't cause a fuss there. He got traded, not of his volition. He didn't ask for a trade. He got traded on draft night. I think it's a lot of media making something out of nothing. Philly media, he's the problem. He's doing this because he's done one or two things. He's gotten frustrated and said something after a game. Yeah, I'd be frustrated too if my team continued to put the ball in this quarterback's hands that can't get the ball out to anybody at a consistent rate. And then we can't run the ball either, which is why they told me that I needed to take less touches and not catch the ball as much, and my numbers are going to be less because we're going to run the ball. And then we can't run the ball well with supposedly the best running back in the league. Yeah, I'd be frustrated too. Especially when I've been on record saying, I'm almost positive I've said this on this pod, A.J. Brown is a top 5 receiver in football. And he has been since 2017-18. Like, I think he's been amazing basically his whole career. Trading away a top 5 receiver because your quarterback can't throw the ball consistently is not the answer. That's all I have to say.
I don't disagree. That the A.J. Brown news was part of why I said made the joke of like, I don't know if it will be the last time. Not because the Bears are gonna consistently make the playoffs, but because I don't believe.
Oh, you think that you'll get the first round this year?
Yeah, I don't believe that the Eagles will make them either.
Oh yeah,
it might take a couple years to put this back together.
I'll say this: if they are going to trade it to the Patriots, you take their first rounder next year, because this Patriots team is not going to be in the Super Bowl again. I will stand on business that they will not. They didn't beat anybody. They still didn't beat anybody.
Drake May.
As soon as they went up, be a football team to the second half of the season.
The sass,
bro. I'm so tired of this. And it's not even the Patriots fans because I don't even think they believe it.
Anyway, so you have anything else before movie?
We talked about the playoffs. I have a little thing about my life.
I mean, if you want to do a little life soliloquy on the pod.
So, I don't know how well it's known that I shit on new games and I only play games that I've played a million times. It takes a lot for me to get into a new game. Basically, it has to be from an IP that I absolutely love, or I have to be like force-fed it down my throat. So, I went back to 2006, and I'm playing a game that I played when I was a child. But it wasn't my idea. I was chilling with the boys, and one day we were just talking about nothing, and I just said, "Do you guys remember the Cartoon Network MMO when we were kids?" It was called Fusion Fall. And we started talking about all the MMOs that like every company put out. Like I remember Lego Universe, the Fusion Fall, and like all these old they started talking about Toontown and all kinds of stuff. And then my buddy goes, "Yeah, I actually want to like buy a subscription to Wizard 101 and go back and play it, and just beat the regular story from when I was a kid." And I was like, I might join in with you on that. That sounds actually kind of fun. As a 27-year-old man going back and playing a game for 2-year-olds. So I've been doing that for the last 4 days, and it's the most fun I think I've had playing a video game in 5 years. It is so much fun. Just going back, enjoy like half of the nostalgia, and then just with the boys just talking about nothing. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how it is to hang out with the boys. It's just nonsense. But nonsense with a story made for 6-year-olds in a game that I can use my adult brain and
yeah, just
I just feel like God. Like, you know, I'm just like, this is way too low of a ceiling.
Yeah, I've done this. I
was like, so what if I just don't... I think as a kid or maybe this was just me, but like as a kid, like you tried to be very well-rounded when you build a character. But like now, it's like now I understand what min-maxing is, and I'm like, okay, so if I just up my damage and my accuracy, I'll literally never like what will it matter? Like I'll just kill them before they kill me. Like I don't need to heal. And it's been crazy the amount of damage that I do compared to the other person I'm with, because I just was like, I'm gonna take the highest damaging class with the highest damaging weapons. I'm gonna up all my accuracy so I never miss, and then I'm gonna up my crit chance. And I'm like, I'm just dog walking everything, and he's just like kind of there with me. Now he's catching up because now he's kind of like woken up. Like, okay, let me just do that. And now it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun, and it was so much fun. It was just me and him. He was streaming it in our Discord, and our other friend was like, "Well, you guys playing Wizard 101?" Like, yeah. He's like, ah, and they're playing like Helldivers or whatever, or like a Baldur's Gate, and he's playing. He's like, what are you? Damn. I tried to play this when I was a kid, but I could never get past it. I'm like, yeah. I was like, we're having a pretty good time. And he's just goes quiet for a couple more minutes. He's like, how much is it a month? And I knew I had his ass. I said, this is only $10, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right. And then we went, they were making too much noise because they were like talking to each other. So we went to a different channel in the Discord. And then we're playing for like 20 minutes. And then he pops down there. He's like, all right, I'm in. So now I got a third, and we're catching him up to where we are, because we're earlier on enough that we kind of just said, let's stop, catch him up, and then all three of us will go through it together. So that's been a lot of fun. And then I've literally been sitting playing, and I'm a Pirate 101 stan. I play that game as an adult, like actually. And I was like, so when we get through this, we're playing through Pirate, right? And they're like, what? I'm like, and I just sent them like 2 videos, and they're like, all right, maybe we will have to do that. So now I got 2 back-to-back lined up. I'm very excited. I'm locked in, bro. I'm locked in.
Like, that's great. I've done this since I started it. I think the problem is that I played it at, like, when I was, like, 10. When I had enough of an understanding to actually do it. And I did, like, 4 run-throughs when I was a kid up until the point where you have to pay.
Yeah.
And then, now as an adult, I went back, was like, oh, I'll do it. And I did the tutorial. It's like, oh, this is just not the same story.
It's not. They changed it.
Yeah, like, this just isn't the same. And I was like, maybe, and then I never ended up going back to it. But
as soon as you can get to the point where it's like the damage gets high and you get to like just do fun stuff, that game just opens up. But I will definitely say the opening is a slog.
Yeah.
But as soon as adults with disposable income, that game is perfect.
Oh yeah.
I get the power level. I get to buy the best stuff. Like, yeah, my time is worth it to me. I'm not grinding for 6 hours. I'll buy this pack, I'll get this stuff, and I'm out.
Pay to win.
It's the greatest thing that's happened to video games. It's also the worst thing that's ever happened to video games.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of pay to win, you play any Pokemon Champions recently?
I don't know.
Neither have I. Let's move on. Anyway, the movie. I can't make a projector sound.
Yes, the movie.
I watched it. I did a you thing, and I watched it like not long after we recorded last week, and now I remember so little about it. It's crazy. So I am the exact opposite of you in this regard. You've done better with it sitting with you. I've done worse. Antman. Yeah.
Yeah, fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
Movie I was dreading, and I shouldn't have been. It was as good as I remember. Everybody told me that movie wasn't that great, and I'm like, ugh, maybe I'm being too nice to it.
I agree with you. It was as good as I remember.
Yeah.
It was exactly how I remember it. Which is weird, because I realized there's not much that I actually remembered.
Yeah, right?
But then, like, I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I saw this movie, and I would see it again, and I did see it again. How you want to approach this movie?
Do you want to start with positives or negatives?
So here's my problem. I described this feeling earlier on with a different movie. I think it was with Iron Man 3. I didn't realize how apathetic I kind of am about this movie.
Okay.
We were watching, I was like, this is entertaining. Like, this is fun. Some of the jokes are fun. Paul Rudd's delightful. Like, all the sorts of time. I was like, and then at the end I was like, oh yeah, I guess this. And I was like, I get it. And I was like, I actually don't I actually don't care for this movie.
Yeah, it's fine.
But not in the way that like I think it's a bad movie. Just like it just doesn't. So I don't know how I want to go about this.
Yeah, I just think it's fine. Like it doesn't do anything exemplary. Like there's no like you can have a bad movie with like amazing moments or like it does this one thing really well. Yeah. This movie just does everything in a very okay way.
Yeah.
I think comedy's okay, the characters are okay. I think the villain is okay. Everything's just okay.
Yeah, the villain's very devious, a little mustache twirly at times.
Yeah.
I actually, as terrifying of a scene as it is, I actually do really like him failing to shrink the sheep and then just going, bring in the next one.
Yeah.
Like just immediately going to the next thing without tweaking anything.
If I were to say anything about the villain, I wish we didn't know literally immediately that he's evil as hell.
Yeah.
It's probably the only thing, and I don't know if that makes the movie better. Like that's kind of like I know exactly what you're saying. Like I'm just like, yeah, there's a movie that happened, but it's saying that makes it seem like it's bad. It's not. It's fine.
It's enjoyable. I find, which I know wasn't the case when I watched it. I found his gang pretty annoying. Which I know happens with me in the second movie.
I know.
But, like, it happened. It happened with me here, and I was like, oh.
Oh, did it really?
Okay. Yeah.
The only guy I don't like is the Russian.
the one that then goes on to play Polka Dot Man?
Yes. It's not his fault. That character sucks. That's all I'm going to say. Because I think that guy can act crazily. But it's crazy for me to think that T.I. does a better job than him.
I like majority of the casting. I like Paul Rudd as Scott. I like...
Yep.
Is it Douglas? Michael Douglas?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas is Hank Pym.
Yep.
I like him. I think, oddly enough, I think he shines the most as Hank Pym in the third movie, which is crazy because the third movie's not very good. But
yeah, I just don't think they ever use him
to the full potential.
Yeah, for at any point. Yeah. I disagree with the third one. I think he's the worst in the third one. But
okay.
But that's just what I just remember. It, like in this one, Hank Pym feels like a badass to me.
He definitely has moments.
Yeah, and the third one, I don't remember him being badass at all. But it's also that movie is so bad that I've kind of like scrubbed it from my memory. And the only positives I can think are Jonathan Majors.
At one point, I'm pretty sure, I might be getting the details wrong, but I'm pretty sure in 3 at one point, Hank leads an army of ants through a thing.
He does. He does call the ants.
He gets some proper things in that one that really. I remember walking out. My two positives were Jonathan Majors' Kang was really good, and this felt like the best Hank Pym I've seen. And that was it, because the rest of that movie is atrocious.
I think for the Antman trilogy, the most badass Michael Douglas is in the first 10 minutes of the first one when he slams that guy's the head on the table, or whatever, he punches him, whatever. That whole scene where he kind of just walks in and quits, that's really badass to me. I think that's the scene that sticks with me.
Yeah, digitally de-aged Michael Douglas. You know what's crazy about the digital de-aging not looking good? The digital aging of everyone else in that scene is really good. Peggy is in that scene, and she looks the effects look really good, and then it's next to him where it looks bad.
I didn't pick up on that, but
him specifically.
I'll take your word for it.
It's one of the first. It's one of the first notable them doing this de-aging looks bad. What?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I zoned out for a second.
I also like the beginning when he arrives at Pimtech and he walks in and they ask him for his information and stuff.
Yeah, he just points
his thing and he's like, I think that'll suffice his ID, and it's the big painting of him on the wall. I was like, he has moments in this movie. I don't think he has any in the second. I don't remember, but
I don't remember that movie.
Him and
he's just obsessed about finding his wife. That's all I remember.
Wouldn't you?
No. I think we should leave that in. So Antman.
Who approved that wig in this movie?
Oh, on her?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Who approved that actress for this movie?
Oh, you don't like her?
No.
Oh, I do.
I don't like her in general.
I like her in general.
I didn't know that I didn't really. Ooh, that's a take.
Is it? What? Why is that a take? Did she do... What do I not know? You're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, the financier. Am I about to have that moment?
Let's see.
Am I about to learn that she's the worst human on the planet?
Worst human? I don't know about worst human.
One of.
She is like a horrid anti-vaxxer.
Is she
and
really?
Conservative. Yeah.
Well, they can still have talent.
And you know what's crazy? I actually don't think she's good in this movie. I thought she was.
think she's fine.
And then I watched it, and I at one point I turned to him and I was like, is she just not a good actress?
I just think her character's motivations make no sense.
Well, that too.
Like, the whole, like, she helped vote me out, and now she's back help. I'm like, that seems like that should have been in this movie for me to understand anything. Like maybe, as a whole, I think her character makes zero sense.
Maybe that should have been in the movie more than, as much as we loved the shield scene at the beginning. Maybe that should have been replaced. With the
I'm fine with that.
But
taking that opening scene, putting it somewhere else in the movie, because I think that scene's too good to take out.
Oh yeah,
you put it somewhere else. But yeah, I agree, because yeah, this movie's really disjointed. Never mind. Maybe this movie's bad. No, I'm kidding.
It's fine.
It's just fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
But then I don't remember how quality she is in the second one. I know they.
I just think all the rest of the movies are bad, so I don't put that on her.
I don't even know if she has a spoken line in the third movie. Like, she's like not in that movie. The Wasp in that movie is very much Janet and not her. She's like there. She's physically there. She's also a character created for this. It's a whole. Evangeline.
Okay, so I think I really like her because she's in a bunch of like the movies that I loved as a kid. Plus, she's on Lost.
Oh, okay.
So like I like her. Like Real Steel's one of my favorite movies ever, and she's the like love interest in that movie.
That tracks.
I've never been apparently she's also in The Hurt Locker, which I know is an amazing movie.
It is what it is. She'll probably be in Doomsday. Maybe she'll die. That'll be fun. Probably not.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. I don't know. Her stuff was all. I think her motivations actually do make sense. Yes, I hated my father, so I voted him out, and then the man that I thought was great, it turned out to be a bad guy. It happens to the best of us, and by best of us, I mean almost every Marvel hero. But
yeah, so
it's not that weird, but I think her acting is just a turnoff for me at this point, combined with with her own nonsense. Yeah. Some of the jokes are solid. Let's talk about the one thing I want to talk about: the shrinking set pieces. I think are actually really good. They do a really good job of sizing him next to things and having things to inform.
I forgot how much fun the Falcon fight is.
The Falcon fight. I forget that's in the movie all the time, and I think the reason why is because I first watched this movie on a Redbox, and somehow, despite everything that my friends had done up until that point, all of my friends had managed to never tell me that Anthony Mackie was in this movie. So, despite the fact that I watched it on Redbox months after it was out, that was a genuine surprise when he pulls up to the Avengers facility and Anthony Mackie, Falcon, comes up and fights him.
It was fun.
So, I think the set pieces with the suit are really good. The one where he accidentally shrinks in the bathroom and then falls through the whole thing. The final fight with Yellow Jacket is fun. The fight with Anthony Mackie is fun. The training montage is also.
There's not a bad action scene.
Yeah, I realize it sounds like we've been very negative, but like there is a lot of really fun in this movie.
Yeah,
it just is. Then maybe the emotion is off, even though I don't hate the stuff with his daughter.
It's just, I just think the story just isn't that great. It's not moving. It's just there. I think it's just fine. Like, but it's not bad. It's just there. It's like okay, that's an average story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm cool. You dislike some of the acting more than I do.
It's still probably the best Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
So disheartened.
Yeah, it is. You know what I hope from this rewatch? That I go back and watch Quantumania and I'm like, actually, this movie got overhated. That's what I'm hoping for. Because I know Ant-Man 2 is ass.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I go back and watch them, like, take out all the controversy, everything that happened around the movie, and then everybody... Because it was at peak of Marvel's ass now. They can't make a good movie. And we go back and watch. I'm like, okay, this movie's actually, like, fine. Like, this movie was overhated. And I know that's not going to happen. It's going to destroy me.
I just hope you find the enjoyments of the good part of that movie.
Well, I found that the first time.
Oh.
I'm hoping for more.
Yeah, you might find more. It sounds like you didn't enjoy the Hank Pym aspect of it, so maybe you'll enjoy the Hank Pym aspect of it.
No,
that might be it.
I think that's fine. It just doesn't. That doesn't move me.
Yeah, that might just be it though. Like I don't.
I know. No, and then I knew, that's why I said I'm hoping that I get this. I know I won't.
Yeah, like his daughter's pretty annoying. Hope is like barely in it, despite supposedly being a title character. Janet's majority of the movie. The majority of the movie is Michelle Pfeiffer trying to hide the fact that she fucked people in the not it's not the microverse. It's legally distinctly not the microverse, the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So like and
it was Bill Murray.
It was Bill Murray, and also not to mention, we thought he was dead in this movie, but he's not because he's actually. Yeah, that's ass. We see
ass.
No, we see his ass.
We do see his ass.
So yes, it's ass.
It is ass.
Quantumania is much later.
Let's not talk about that shit. Let's rate this movie.
First, let's rate it. Let's go.
I had it rated higher before we started this conversation.
Okay. Where are you landing?
7.5.
Okay.
I don't like it as much. I had it originally in the beginning of this conversation as a 7.8. Okay. And now we've talked about it, and I'm like, wow, yeah, there's actually... I think about Iron Man 3 as much as I dislike certain parts of that movie. The peaks in that movie are infinitely better than anything I get here, so I have to give it a 7.5.
Oh, that's right, you did say 7.5. So, same. I was going to have it, not same score, but same idea. I had it higher. I had it at 8, too, if you looked before I deleted it. I actually think 7.8 is where I'm going to sit now.
Okay.
So, a little bit higher. But I just...
Is that the closest we've been on a movie? No, because we had the same for Guardians.
Yeah, we straight up matched on Guardians.
But it's the second closest one. It's a tie with Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we rated Cap 1 so differently.
Yeah. Because you're crazy and you don't think that's an amazing movie.
I think the correct answer is in between our two scores. Because I think it's crazy to say Cap 1's better than Iron Man 1. I think that's crazy.
I don't. I stand by that. Yeah. Ain't that fun?
Oh well, I'm looking at my score for Iron Man. So you really you're splitting hairs on those two.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that as much now. I have to look at your scores and not mine. So that finishes phase 2.
Yep, I'm averaging out our scores right now. That's what this is.
Oh, okay.
We both have it at about an 8 out of 10. You're a little bit higher with 8.38, so pretty much an 8.4.
And what are you at? 7?
I'm at 8.
Okay. Cool.
Mine actually averages out exactly to 8. But that might be that makes sense because if you look at my scores, I have a lot of
bunch of holes, and then a 0.2 and a 0.8 make a hole.
Yeah, so which sounds kind of correct. I don't know what were our averages up here. Also 8. And
mine should be a little bit higher. No, probably not.
A little bit lower, 7.8. So I think we're finding out that the MCU is just an 8 out of 10 franchise.
No, hold up. Because we're about to walk in.
We're about
to walk into peak after peak after peak after peak.
I know. I'm already ready.
Show me phase 3. Just scroll down a little bit. Because let me look here. 1. But it's got probably the worst movie in the MCU. There are 3 movies there that I am confident I probably don't give over a 7. The 2 probably...
3?
Basically, yeah, there's 2 that basically reach a 7 for me, I think, and then there's 1 that might not even break a 5.
Okay.
You know you know the movie that I am just not the biggest fan of.
I guess. I still feel like they're better than 7, but we'll get that.
Maybe I'll change my mind on that one.
We'll get to them. I'm excited for next week. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited. The real mistake in watching Antman early in the week is then I had to go the rest of the week not watching Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
And because the post-credit scene for Antman is the scene from Civil War, and I was like, I just want to watch the guy. Can we? Now again, I can watch it this week. The days while she's home.
Yeah. It's peak.
This is all peak. I do not have a bad time till after Infinity War.
I think I'm gonna have a bad time right before Infinity War. I hope I change my opinion on that movie.
I don't think you'll have a bad time. It does have flaws. I can tell you right now, the CGI in that final fight is bad.
And you know what's so crazy? That's never shit that ever like bothers me. And I think it's probably from my origin in Godzilla. And like those level, like there's all I'm so numb to poor CGI. I also, and maybe I don't know how to explain this, but it's like people who say bad CGI takes you out of a movie when you're watching a superhero movie doesn't really make sense to me because I feel like I'm already out.
It depends for me.
There's I want to say there's 2 times in the MCU's history where the CGI has been so bad that I'm like, oh wow. And now that's that scene in Black Widow where they're with Pew's holding the thing and I think she puts it down the engine or something. Yeah. And then Idris Elba's kid in Thor 4 when he comes up as the face, that takes me out. But other than that, like I'm not really fussed. But that's just me as a human. It's just never ever affected me, and I guarantee you it's because of my Godzilla origins and stuff like that.
As bad as the Black Widow example is, I actually think that one doesn't bother me as much because it's very limited CGI use movie. Yeah. Versus like Black Panther is an example of it's good up until that point, and there's constant use of it up until that point. I think is what gets me about that one.
Yeah.
Is I can forgive because like obviously I'm tokusatsu where we fucking didn't even use CGI. We just put someone in a rubber suit. So when we started using CGI, it was bad. It was so bad.
Bro, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
It's because we use rubber suits all the time, then we dabbled in CGI, and it's like, whoop.
Yeah, like it's very noticeable, but I can forgive bad CGI if it's like 1 or 2 uses and it's for something small or stupid. It's like it is what it is. It's like the digital de-aging. It's like, oh, well, this is bad, but I get what we're trying to do. But yeah, well, it's going to be a good May.
All right, you want to end us out, and then I'm assuming these are 2 different things, or is this going to be on that week's week?
It was supposed to be on the same episode. But
okay,
we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see how I cut it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Stop. Hey, yo, no need to yell. I want you to know I already broke the rules. I kind of broke the rules, but if you poo-poo it, I'm not married.
There is one.
Other than the one thing we agreed that we're allowing ourselves to break the rules about.
Well, I said if we're talking about that rule, okay. Let's just. What are we doing?
Our next newest Smash game, which was your idea.
It was a combination.
A combination.
It was because I had said, well, let's do this at the end, and you were like, do we really have to wait that long to do another one?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then it was like, well, we can like do
something different.
And then when we settled on
this,
and then I pitched a series plan because that's how I do things.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, Super Smash Bros. Game with superheroes with strictly comic origins.
Yes.
Kind of.
So we had decided originally that manga counts because
and it does
basically, and I stand by that. I then went back and was like, well, we should do these ones going forward and to, build things out, have a series of Smash games that we're making and content stuff like that. And I said for that reason I'm only doing one manga character. But you could do more if you wanted to. Because I still think that take is correct.
I think I ended up doing 8.
Okay.
Or I did 5, 6.
Say, I don't know what rule you're talking about that you might have broken.
Or when we start our roster, I'll start with that character.
Okay. What was your approach?
Well, my original approach was to do... We talked about this already. This is going to be DC, Marvel, and Friends. I tried to keep DC and Marvel equal.
Yeah.
But with DC acquisitions, it's kind of hard. Some of DC's characters could also be technically third parties at a point and stuff like that. So I tried to keep everything balanced. I ended up actually with more others than DC or Marvel singular.
Ooh, I came very close.
Yeah, so I did not. I think the least I have is Marvel, but a lot. If you take the things that are DC with parentheses, possibly put them in the others. I have more others than I do Marvel or DC separate, but Marvel and DC are as big as the others. So,
because I have numbers here. I have 17 Marvel, 17 DC, and 16 other. And that's not counting DLC.
I tried to do that, and then I think I just ended up favoring the others. Right, because after DLC, I don't know.
There's definitely things in here where I had a couple others off to the side. And I was like, oh, well, we could put this in, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And it just came down to, I think I just want one or two, some of these Marvel and DC characters in here more.
I ended up having 13 Marvel, and then I think 17 DC, but like 3 or 4 of those DC characters could technically be others. Technically, but they're when I think of them, I think DC. Except for one. The exception of one, I think is... I don't think as a DC character.
3 of these DCs are technically...
Yeah.
The milestone, falset, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. There's one where, like, when I think of him, I never think of him as a DC character. I think of him as him. But technically he's a DC character. Do you know what I'm talking about? You think? Or no?
Maybe, but, like, it's just funny the way that you say that, because it's like, yes, and that's can also just be the case for, like, all of your big-ticket characters.
Okay.
When you say Spider-Man, you don't think Marvel immediately. You think Spider-Man because he's fucking Spider-Man. But, like, he's a Marvel
That's not
character.
what I'm saying, though.
But,
well, no. Because when I think Spider-Man, I think Marvel. I think Spider-Man is Marvel's biggest hero. That's what I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in agreement on that. So I ended up kind of building a story in my head that was going to be going on in this game. And
I said to hell with that shit.
Yeah. But, like, it informed how I then ended up building the roster and going from it.
I have an idea of who would be my boss character. That's what I have. A slight idea, but I'm not married to it. I didn't do a lot of that with this one. I focused more on just, let's put together a fun roster and try to do some fun stuff.
Yeah, so, like, it was a combination of putting together a fun roster, but also why make some decisions over the other, not just purely gameplay, but also how does this function? Which doesn't really matter for a Smash game, I don't think. But also, Smash game gives us one of our greatest story modes of all time with Subspace. So it's like, it is what it is. So I have a main Marvel and a main DC character. The idea is we kind of follow the story through them mainly, and then they slowly, in fighting their villains, we come into this multiversal alliance with this big bad above it. So, in the end, my features are pretty much a main Marvel character, a main DC character, a Justice League roster, an Avengers roster, 2 1 Marvel, 1 DC villain rosters, a couple of extras, and then a bunch of third-party extra heroes that you gain through a part. Because one of my favorite things about Subspace Emissary that I feel like people don't mention is that after you complete the story, in certain spots, if you look around the world, you can find secret doors to unlock the last few characters if you don't get there via thing. And I think that's really fun.
Can you name those characters?
I know 2 of them off the bat. I'm trying to think of
Okay, so who are those 2?
Jigglypuff and Wolf.
Yep, those are the 2.
And then, is it Game & Watch? It's not Game & Watch, is it?
No, that's it.
Oh.
That's what I mean, that's it. There's only 2.
I think there's 3.
Pretty sure there's not 3.
I think there's 3.
Are you thinking about Sonic? Because Sonic shows up in the last cutscene.
Smash Bros. Brawl Unlockables.
Because Jigglypuff was supposed to be cut and was added last second. That's why she's not in Subspace. And then Wolf was, I would say, similar. He's like the last character added.
Toon Link. Toon Link isn't...
Oh, yeah. I forgot he's in that game.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah. See, told you. 3.
You're right.
So, and Toon Link is pretty much Game & Watch. He's not. But, like...
Not even close.
He's aesthetically similar. But...
If Toon Link is in the second Legend of Zelda movie, he's basically Game & Watch.
He's a cave Link. That comes to life.
I don't know, because Game & Watch is in the movie.
He said if he comes to life for some reason.
No. Okay. How do you want to start?
Oh, God, how do I want to start this? So the way that I've laid it out, and I can change this, it doesn't matter, is I have like all my DCs on the right, all my Marvels on all my Marvels on the right, all my DCs on the left, and then all the third parties under them.
I have
so
my columns.
Almost pretty much set up to end with here is a bunch of names that we could just get to throw at the mic and
okay.
hope people recognize after talking about the actual stars.
Oh my gosh. This disrespect.
No, there's some actually really big names in the third party one.
Do you want to go over... Let's go over characters that didn't make it first. And then we'll get into the roster. Or you don't want to do that? Because I have a story.
I would like to hear the story.
Of my devastation. So, there are certain characters in Marvel and DC that I absolutely adore that you cannot stand. And I had already had it set up. I'm like, perfect. This is my Ice Climbers. I'll use these. I love them. I think they're perfect. Zach will hate it. It'll make my day. The devastation when I share my list with somebody the day before I go and record this, and they're like, yeah, no, they were made for the Super Friends show. No, don't tell me that. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, why would you say that to me? Why wouldn't you let me just try? It's like, no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. So when I couldn't use the Wonder Twins, dude,
that would have been fine.
I genuinely wanted to cry.
My opinion
I can't break the rules, man.
My opinion on the Wonder Twins would have been like, you had all of comics history and that's who you chose. Outside of that, like, that's a fun Scrimblow pick. But this was DC Smash game, which, you know, it is what it is.
That broke my heart.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I have broken that. I had not actually looked to see if any of these were... Like, there's no X-23, no Harley Quinn, who
Obviously.
are two other versions of that.
Somebody said that to me. They're like, well, you can't use it. I'm like, yep, I never would have anyway.
Which, like, technically that's correct. I do think at some point there's, like, a letter of intent for some of these, like... Which I break later, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. That's a DLC. The DLC has different rules.
I heard somebody makes video game rosters, fighting game rosters online, and he has a rule, and I've now adopted it because I actually think it works. Your roster is where you set your rules, and you go by them. Your DLC is there because it's DLC, it's extra, it's built to break those rules. You can break your rules of your roster with your DLC. I think that's a great way to think about that.
I don't know about break rules, but definitely if there was a time to
stretch and break things, I think that's fine. You can do that.
Yeah, because it's for fun anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to have a good time then.
Yeah.
So let me just... Because one of these guys is going to be in your roster. If he's not, we're going to cut recording. I'm going to kick you out, and we're never going to do this again.
Okay.
My first two, the main Marvel and DC that I follow, the Marvel one is Spider-Man.
Yep.
It's Spider-Man. Now, you had the DC one. I think you do.
Okay.
But maybe you don't have him as DC. I have Static Shock.
That's the guy I said I don't think of him as DC.
Yeah.
He is Static.
And that's fair. And he, you could... If you wanted to do your thing of DC acquisitions, he is a milestone character by that regard. But I think that is a little cheap myself.
But he's in my DC section.
Yeah.
But I don't ever think of him as like Static Shock.
And I won't lie. He was a very late add for me. He was after I had added my Justice League roster and everything. Was like sending photos on my roster to people, and I had like 4 spots open, and no one said him. I was like, oh, well, I could add Static. And I was like, I actually really like Static, and he's decently popular, and like, so those are the two that I would follow.
I have both of those.
While you then build up your roster with, Justice Leaguers and Avengers and, characters that I don't want to say actually matter, because, well, I guess Static DC acts like he doesn't matter, but... And Marvel editorial for Spider-Man. Let's move on.
I'm going to just get the character that breaks the rules that I have in my main roster, but we had previously... You must have forgotten, but we did talk about it previously, and we agreed that's fine. That's where we're going to break our rule, but we're going to allow it. Okay. I have Tommy Oliver.
I don't know if I agreed with breaking the rule on it.
I remember
it's cool.
He wouldn't be on my list if we didn't sit here and agree about it. I said I think that's close enough. Nothing else but that I would be fine with a power. Because I had said something because we were talking about G.I. Joe, because I didn't realize G.I. Joe was toys before a thing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, then I would just do Power Rangers. I said, we're not doing Power Rangers? I said,
and I think I said no, because they're not, like, it's fine.
No, we agreed.
No.
Yeah, we did.
No, because I specifically, because I said no, because I said it wouldn't be a Kamen Rider or Sentai, because they were shows. And they maybe had a manga adaptation afterwards, but they were shows first.
And then I agreed you should do a Kamen Rider.
And then guess what I didn't do?
You didn't do that. Yeah, it was fine. But I have Tommy Oliver, because
it's fine.
The Power Rangers comics are sick, and they're sick. And they're literally superheroes, so I'm back.
They were sick. The comics were sick.
They still are. They had a crossover with Godzilla like 2 years ago. I'm taking it.
The Godzilla crossover comic was good.
Yeah.
All right.
My next character is Godzilla.
All right. So
okay. Just keep going with your and we'll see if I agree.
Okay. Let me hit you with my Justice League.
Okay.
So this is 7. I got 7 of them in there. And some of them are obviously just going to be there. Superman.
Yep.
Batman.
Yep.
Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Flash.
Yep.
Green Lantern.
No.
Okay. Aquaman.
Yep.
And for my 7th, I have Shazam.
Yes. I don't have him as... I guess technically he's Justice League, but I didn't think about him like that.
He's a weird one where he's not always there, he is there, and I think I had put in who I consider to be the main 5, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, and then I was like, okay, Justice League is one of those things where it always feels like you should hit 7, and then I'm like, okay, well, who do I do? And I'm like looking at like who your 6s and 7s normally are, and I was like, does Martian Manhunter fit here? Is there? And I was just like, oh, well, I feel like Shazam makes sense to just be in this game, and he has been Justice League roster before. He was in the Justice League War animated movie. In that universe, he was a founding member, so it's like, oh, just put him in there. It's fine.
So you gave me a poo-poo look when I said no to Green Lantern. So I'll go over that now. My idea, which was a very rough idea, was that the main villain of my game is Parallax. And then, instead of Green Lantern, to still have a playable Green Lantern, I wanted JSA representation. I went with Alan Scott. So technically a Green Lantern, but
a Green Lantern.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, I think
so. Yeah, that's what I want because I wanted. You've made me into a Flash fan. I don't just automatically do Jay Garrick because when I think JSA, that's the first person I think of. Yeah. Which I still don't think is disrespectful because I really think Jay Garrick is cool.
Oh yeah.
But Alan Scott is also really cool. So I went with Alan Scott.
That is very cool.
It was very hard for me to not just fill this roster with Green Lanterns. Like I love the Green Lanterns.
Okay, so yeah, we pretty much matched the whole way down, different Green Lanterns, but still.
Yep.
So then the Avengers roster was fun, because my thought was, well, if there's to keep things even, because that's, I think, is the true balancing act here, is you can include as many third parties as you want, but you should probably try to make sure that DC and Marvel stays even, because that's where any of this falls through. Not that we have actual contracts to make this game yet.
Yeah, facts.
So, 7 Avengers.
Okay.
So I chose 7 Avengers. This
isn't going to be good for me. We're going to be very different now.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a good chance. I think you should have the first 3 that I have, but other than that, like, and I should say, I don't think that's necessarily incorrect.
Okay.
So I have Captain America.
Yep.
Iron Man.
Yep.
Hulk.
Yep.
Thor.
Yep.
Doctor Strange.
No. Oh, that's a good. I didn't even think about him.
Antman.
No.
And Black Panther.
That's the only one I wish I would have had. I completely forgot about Black Panther. And I had him wrote down at some point, and I think I scribbled him out for whatever reason.
Okay. Well, that went pretty much how I thought that was going to go. Doctor Strange was actually a very late ad. I was telling you earlier the joke that I had a DLC pack that was like earning your doctorate, and then I was going through it, and I was like, I could just put him. I had a different Avenger in as him, and I was like, I could just move you down because you fit more in that pack, and then you can move you up because I do just really like Doctor Strange, and I don't think there's anyone else in this game that could work the way that Doctor Strange could work. So, well, maybe one of these villains, but
I would say that yeah.
So go ahead and give me like 3 or 4 characters because that's my Justice League, that's my Avengers, and we had a couple there that didn't match for the Avengers.
Okay, you from Marvel or DC?
Let's do from Marvel, just to keep it even.
Okay. I'll give you 3 villains with very heavy quotation marks.
Okay.
I have the obvious Doctor Doom.
Yep, I have him.
I don't think you'll have this. I have Ultron.
I have Ultron.
Oh! And I have Venom.
I also have Venom.
Cool, there we go.
Okay, so let me...
Some synergy.
So let me explain a little bit of this. So my idea is that there are two villainous factions, one in Marvel, one in DC, and they're working... They're not working for a higher purpose. They're working to betray the higher purpose.
Obviously.
So, like, Doom is leading who I've named the Harbingers, because I don't have a good DC or a good Marvel villain name to work off of. And they are working under the direction, but obviously Doom is looking to usurp Ultron.
Yeah.
Who is in connection with a DC villain that I haven't mentioned, who is working through a DC faction that does have an actual name. And obviously the leader of there is working to usurp them. So it ends up being this cool thing where when they end up meeting and working together, both Doom and this other guy are both working separately to try to overcome the big bad while also trying to keep the other one from getting in the way.
Okay, we'll go into that. What's your
so let's
DC villain?
Yeah, so let's talk about the Legion of Doom. Because it's the Legion of Doom. Like, I don't know what you want
all
from
of
me.
them?
No, I have 5 of them.
I think I only have 3.
This isn't counting the big bad at the end as well.
Okay.
So it's like, and again, this is where I kept it even. So there's 5 Marvel villains, 5 DC villains, and then 2 big villains at the end. The Marvel one is Ultron.
Okay.
And then the DC one, we'll save that till the end. So the Legion of Doom. So these are the 5 DC villain characters that I have. I have Lex Luthor.
Okay.
He is your leader that is working
that.
to betray the whole thing. Captain Cold, because I think he's cool.
Yeah, don't have that.
Black Mana, because I think he's cool.
Yeah, don't have him either.
The Joker.
Yes.
Unfortunately. And Deathstroke.
Oh, okay. I have nobody there but the Joker and Lex.
Okay.
My DC villains,
if you were going to have 2.
My DC villains, and maybe this makes no sense, but again, like I said, I didn't think about the story.
No,
I also have Sinestro. I have Darkseid. Yeah, Sinestro and Darkseid are my other 2 DC villains, with the addition of Joker and Lex.
Darkseid was almost my top DC villain.
Yeah.
I ended up going in a different direction, and he may pop up later in a separate thing, but
okay.
It was very nearly him at the top, and it was going to be him and Ultron, but I ended up going different. I don't think Sinestro is a bad shout. I think what ended up happening with me is, and I think it's very easy to fall into this, how do you make Sinestro work differently from Green Lantern? In a DC game, I think you take the time to figure that out. In a game where it's so big and there's so many different possibilities to draw from, I think you just only have one of them.
Make it Sinestro different from who?
Green Lantern.
That's why mine's Alan Scott, so I think that just works differently.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it works here, it doesn't work there.
Yeah, and I would agree with you there.
Also, I think when you get to a Smash game, there's the Captain Falcon Ganondorf thing.
Yeah.
They're very similar. You change a couple of things, and they feel completely different. It's the same thing with Fox and Falco. Like, you can have very similar characters that play completely differently just off of tweaking 3 different mechanics. It's what makes it so much different than a fighting game, but it's still a fighting game.
Yeah. And I completely agree with you. I think where I end up with this one is just that the scope is so big that is that more interesting than just doing something completely different.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So... But what he was thought of. He definitely gets an honorable mention, because obviously when doing the Legion of Doom, you think at who are arch enemies of all of your Justice League guys. And
yeah.
I was definitely struggling. The last one that went in was Deathstroke, because I was struggling to figure out who I want to use as like a Shazam or a Wonder Woman villain, and it just was just like, we can just do Deathstroke because he's cool.
Yeah, he's just...
Like, it just is what it is sometimes.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't hate Deathstroke.
So, let me round out my Marvel villains ones, because I think I have 2 more.
Yeah.
I do have Venom as a Marvel villain.
Yep.
I know he swings multiple ways. It just is what it is sometimes. The other 3 that I have are Green Goblin.
Okay. I don't hate it.
The Mandarin.
Oh, that's dope.
And I think he'd be really fun.
I don't
disagree. I think he'd be really fun.
I think that was a really cool addition.
And then Baron Zemo rounds out the little 5 Harbingers. Okay. Harbingers of Doom. Set.
I would love to see Zemo versus Deathstroke. That's something I'd like to see.
Yeah.
And I think that works. I guess I'll just start naming some of the other random...
Are you out of Marvel and DC, guys?
No, I have a bunch of just random, just in there, not...
Okay, yeah. Because that's my next thing. I have 6 more Marvel.
Okay. What do you have for X-Men? That's my real question.
So, listen. Technically, the last 3 Marvel characters... I have 6 more Marvel and DC characters. 3 Marvel, 3 DC. Technically, my last 3 Marvel characters are all X-Men or X-Men adjacent.
Okay, that's fine. Go for them.
I got Wolverine.
Yes.
Obviously. I have the one that I completely forgot to add until the end, and someone said, well, you should probably have this guy, and he's probably right. I have Deadpool.
I vetoed the Deadpool thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just don't think...
No, screw that shit then. Alright, hold up. I have Professor X. Fuck Deadpool.
Okay, before you put Professor X, who's your other?
Nightcrawler. Because I think he's cool.
So, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's wrong. No Magneto kind of feels weird. As cool as Professor X could be, he is also very limited. Unless you're, I guess with current Professor X, that doesn't really count.
Legitimately, I'm going to tell you something. You and I had a conversation a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, not like that, where I said I don't think Professor X could work in a fighting game, and you said I just need to be more creative enough.
Yeah.
If there was a type of game where you could make Professor X in the wheelchair work, it's here.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
and I'm not going to lie, I also just had to make a DLC change because he was in the DLC. But you said fuck Deadpool, so I fuck Deadpool. Alright.
My X-Men are Wolverine, Magneto, and Storm. I went very safe.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I love Storm.
Storm is very cool.
Yeah, Storm is always sick. And I think Magneto is the greatest X-Men ever written. Like, X-Men villain, whatever you want to category. I think Magneto is one of the best written characters in all of Marvel, so I couldn't leave him out. I have one more Marvel that hasn't been said, and I have a bunch of DC that haven't been said.
Yep, let's go through your Marvel and the rest of your DC, and then we'll see.
I'll do the DC, and then I'll end on the Marvel.
Okay.
For DC, I also have Nightwing.
Yes.
I have Plastic Man.
No, but I love him.
I have Catwoman. And I have Dr. Manhattan.
Neither are in Maine. Catwoman non-existent.
Yeah.
Was considered many times. Was in one of the cut DLC packs I was talking about.
She was the character tied with another character was, who do I want to be main roster, who do I want to be DLC?
Yeah.
And I went with her literally by, like, a Rizzler paper. Like, it could have gone either way. I think what made my decision was I wanted more females in the main roster, and that kind of just swayed it. But I wouldn't be mad to switch it back the other way.
No, and I don't think she's a bad shout either.
Yeah, I love Cat. I think Catwoman gets... I don't know. I don't know if people like Catwoman or not. I think Catwoman's really cool. I also think a whip... I think the way Simon Belmont works in Smash Brothers is really cool, and I think you could do something similar. I think you could do something even cooler, like a mix between Simon and Zero Suit with Catwoman, and make her whip like a command grab and pulls you toward. I think that could work really cool. So that also, but that argument didn't matter because I could make that same argument with the other character that made it to DLC. Because I'm like, well, that I think actually works really, really cool, especially when you make that the entire moveset. I think that would be really sick.
Yeah.
Oh, and then my final Marvel, before we get into the third parties, is I have Howard the Duck.
Thanks.
It had to be there.
He didn't, but okay.
He wasn't going to make it. And then I couldn't do the Wonder Twins. So somebody had to make it. Somebody had to be ridiculous and not make any sense. And Howard... I didn't want to go with the cheap Howard. I wanted to go the Wonder Twins, but they didn't. They didn't exist.
So I have 2 more DCs, and then that equals out the 2. And then technically I have 3, but one of them is one of the main villains, so we'll save him up. Out of my 3 last DCs, I did have Nightwing. How do you not?
He's everybody's favorite.
My thing earlier where I say I don't have someone but I have him was I don't have Robin, but I have Nightwing. It's the same character. It's not, but it's the same character.
Yeah.
Like, and then I have Rorschach as a Watchman. Just didn't want to do Dr. Manhattan again.
Again?
I feel like we always do Dr. Manhattan.
Do we?
Yeah.
Have we ever? Actually, I don't ever remember us doing Dr. Manhattan in anything.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done Rorschach, but I also don't think Rorschach does anything cool. No disrespect.
Weren't you going to have the comedian originally?
Let's continue. The comedian would be so much more cool.
And then I have for my... What did I have? 7. So my 16th DC would be Swamp Thing. I'm surprised you didn't have either of the Swamp guys. Okay. Alright. But, yeah. I think both Swamp Thing and Man-Thing are really cool, and at one point I was looking and I was like, well, including both in this game doesn't feel correct because they might work similar. Which one do you include? It's Swamp Thing. I don't think it's much of a discussion at that point. Man-Thing might look...
Man-Thing is not that cool.
Oh, okay.
I love Swamp Thing. He's in my top 5 DC characters. Man-Thing is fine. Swamp Thing is Man-Thing with love and care. Marvel does not care about Man-Thing, and they put him in things to be like, oh, that's Man-Thing. Yeah. And DC's like, no, this is an actual character that actually has that's motivations. True. And like, Swamp Thing is infinitely a better character, and it's not close.
I agree with you. Oh,
okay. So others.
Oh boy.
Okay.
This is.
I'm gonna take over this segment. I'm gonna lead the way here.
Okay.
I think there's 2 that absolutely have to be here. If you don't have them, you're wrong.
Only 2.
You could make an argument for more, but there are 2 that are like, these are the third-party comic book characters.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell me who they were.
So you said 2. I'm gonna guess it's these 2, but like again, I do think that is more. I assume you mean Spawn and Hellboy.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously.
These are the other comic book characters. And then you have I think there's newer ones that have come up recently that I think you can talk about. Like, I would say we both probably have Invincible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you have anybody else from Invincible?
I do not.
Okay, I do. I have Omni-Man.
There were many times where Omni-Man was floated around, and in the end, I figured out another direction to go.
Yeah, my Omni-Man is literally, I brought it up earlier, the Captain Falcon Ganondorf.
Yeah.
You just do that there. One of them's slower, hits harder. Obviously, we know the difference.
Yeah, he was my ripcord for a lot of this. Was like, if I really run out of options, I can just grab Omni-Man. It's fine. I didn't have to, though. I got...
Okay. The next one I'm going to go into, I have the Ninja Turtles.
Okay. I'm glad you do. They're not in my main because we were discussing it at one point and it was very much on rocks. So I was very much like, well, let's shy away. I was ready to argue them for my DLC. So
they are. They are just they are.
Yeah, like
they are written first before they were ever anything else. They just got popularized on TV, which I think you could make that case for a lot of Marvel and DC stuff too. That's literally Static Shock.
Yeah,
Static Shock doesn't have the popularity without a show.
Absolutely.
So I went with the Ninja Turtles, and then to get the other big popular show that's out right now, I have Homelander and Butcher from The Boys. They are probably my least favorite characters on my list, but the show has 5 seasons. I can't and you know what's so crazy? When we started, maybe not started. We were just when the show came out. I was like, The Boys is infinitely better than Invincible, and then I got to season 3. I stopped watching. I think that show is bad. I think it's really bad. I think your first season is great. The second season's a little bit less, but still good. Season 3, I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. I have seen clips from like the last 2 seasons. I think that show is horrible.
Well, it's an adaptation of a bad comic.
That too.
It can only have been gotten so good. So like, I'm surprised season 1 was as good as it was.
Yeah, like season 1, I think is like. I don't want to use this word because you probably have to cut this word, but like I don't know how else to describe this. It's like 20% of that show is good writing and like good acting and shit like that, and the other 80% is that's all it is. And I hate it because I love the first season so much, and it's just devolved into.
Did you know that the first couple of issues of that comic were actually published by DC?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
no.
And then it was one of their because they had like an independent property branch or something, and then they looked at it. The ones came out and they said, no and cut them. And then
Good.
they got picked up by Dynamite, who published the rest of it. I think it was Dynamite. Was it
Yeah.
Dynamite? I have one of them. I have Billy Butcher. I agree with you can do multiple and just tweak them in Smash Bros. I just thought it was so vast that it's not necessary to have Superman, Omni-Man, and Homelander. I agree with you. You could make the three of them work different and it's fine.
Yeah.
But I just did Bill. I also just didn't want to. I feel like Omni-Man is always the easy answer, and I wanted to do something different. Let me hit you with a few that I'm not sure you have.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Let me hit you with a few, and I'm pretty sure you have the first one, because I think this is who you hinted at me the other day.
Okay.
That you said I turned you on to him, and you'd be surprised if I didn't have him.
Yes! Bring him up!
And I'm still not convinced that I'm right.
No, you are. I looked it up. I did research.
If you had to look it up, I'm not sure I'm right. I don't know who we're talking. Who are we talking about?
Who are you talking about?
Who are you talking about?
Who are you talking about? Who you talking about? Go ahead.
I'm talking about Radiant Black, because that's a comic I talk about a lot.
Wow, I'm so far off.
That's fair. Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Tick.
You know something? I also have the fucking
I know that's right.
I also got the fucking Tick.
You got to. Ray, I forgot you always talk about him.
I do, and I was like, I reviewed it on the pod. I did all this, and like that might be, but I do also have the Tick. The Tick is also awesome.
The GOAT.
I don't ever remember telling you about the Tick, but the Tick's dope.
The old podcast
awesome.
we talked about the Tick. I feel like I remember that. Maybe not on the pod, but I remember we used to talk about the Tick.
So let me give you another weird one. So I learned from these games. This is something I learned from Cloud Strife himself. These games just need someone that has a big fuck off sword.
Okay.
They just do. So you probably don't know who this guy is. His name is Emmett Quinlan. He's from the Image comic series written by Donny Cates, God Country.
Oh,
he is an old man with a giant-ass sentient energy sword. What else do you want me to tell you about?
There's our Cloud.
We'll just get him out of the way, and then that'll give me a couple to mention before you go off on more. I have Scott Pilgrim. Comic character, had a thing. We talked about him, too. Last week.
Just, you know he would never make my list.
I know.
Because I don't think of him as a superhero, but...
He's got all the things. He's got the super sword. He's got
stuff. Like, I can't deny it. We had this whole argument, like, what is a superhero? Because I consider the G.I. Joes superheroes.
There is...
Like, what's the difference between them and Black Widow was my argument.
Yeah, there is one more on here that is iffy on the qualification of being a superhero, but he's comic-based, he's iconic, and I will fight to the end of the earth because I think he would be like the Game & Watch of this game. So, okay. I can't wait to get to him. But you give me a few.
Okay, so a couple more. I'm going to do the last Hollywood kind of taken and put into the limelight. I have Kick-Ass.
Okay.
I thought that was really cool because it's Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
I'm also going to end this run of Hollywood kind of popularize this thing. I have The Mask. Like Jim Carrey's The Mask.
So both of those I didn't think about.
I have both of those. And then I guess Hollywood tried to popularize this guy, but I don't think the movie did well, mainly because it's Seth Rogen. I have the Green Hornet.
Okay. I didn't think of any of those, but I also don't know how... I just don't have them. I just don't have them.
The other we were never going to match. I don't think.
We matched on a couple.
We matched a couple, but like those were the obvious. I think when we got to the deep pools, it wasn't going to be close.
We will see. All right, so going through, said that. Do you want to give a few more? Or you want to switch back over?
You can go over.
Okay. So,
because I think we're done matching. I think there's one more. I know we definitely have the same, but I would be very shocked if we match anymore.
Okay, so next I have Murder Falcon.
No idea.
He's Murder Falcon.
No clue.
All right, so let's talk about Murder Falcon.
Okay.
Murder Falcon was a comic book written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. You might know him. One of my favorite comics, Do a Powerbomb, is by him as well.
Okay.
The way that Do a Powerbomb is about wrestling,
okay,
Murder Falcon is about his love for heavy metal. Murder Falcon is just a superhero manifestation of all of like the craziness that is
metal.
Yeah. I really wanted to have a Do a Powerbomb character, but it's just doesn't work. But like Murder Falcon works. So and I just think his comics are awesome. So so next I have Captain Underpants.
he's not my base roster.
That's fair.
The absolute last character, I was like, do I keep him? I'm like, I'm gonna put him DLC because I don't want to have an argument. DLC is where I break my rules. If we're gonna count it as breaking rules, I don't think it is.
Close enough.
That's what I'm saying. I was hoping you had that opinion, but I didn't want to have that argument if you didn't.
Following up by him, I think this is one of the only times that things are close. I have Dogman, who is kind of a spin-off, not a spin-off.
Yeah, I was doing one or the other, and Captain Underpants, I remember. But I think kids nowadays think Dogman.
I get that. The Dogman movie is kind of really funny.
It is. It was a very good movie.
And it was just enough where I was like, oh, we can do both. I actually didn't know that he was a spin-off of him, but apparently he is. So there's that. And then next I have Phone Bone from Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I know nothing about it, so I didn't even attempt. I'm going to get through all the ones that I know you don't have, because I made the decision that manga counts. So I have All Might from My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
I have Saitama from One Punch Man. And I purely did these because they literally are superheroes in their universe.
Oh, yes.
That's like, there's no... Because I made... This is the... When I came to you with it was... if we're going to do manga and stuff... Literally, Goku is a superhero. Like, there's no argument. But what we had decided at that point was... They have to be a superhero in their universe. So, like... Nobody from Dragon Ball, even though... There is specifically a Saiyan that dresses up like a superhero and is a superhero. I'm not going to count them. It's Gohan, but whatever. They have to be superheroes in their universe, and then that ends off with the one I think we do share is Sailor Moon.
Yes, I do have Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
She is, when I was talking about, it's like there's that section where there's doors and you get all these extra characters. She is like the last mandatory one that moves you forward in the plot.
Yeah.
Because it's Sailor Moon. For the girlies.
Sailor Moon... Along with the Ninja Turtles, it's our game. I'm going to do whatever I want. Every other sailor is a skin, but they're just like... They're all just echoes. Make them proper, exactly how they are. Okay. I'm not just going to have it kind of like current Smash does, where it's just recolors. I just want full-fledged characters. They make the few changes, make them all Echo Fighters tied to that character. We can do what we want. We have money. Same thing with the Ninja Turtles. I don't just want to recolor. Almost like how they work in Injustice. Like, you get to play with whatever.
Give them different special sets for their weapons. But
just it doesn't. You don't have to change that much. But just let's be true to these characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have what? I think I have 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 others left. What do you have?
I have. Let's see. I had Sailor Moon. Believe I have 3 others and then my
Big Bad?
Yeah, the Big Bad.
Get your 3 others out, see if we match, and then I'll go through my 6, then we'll do your Big Bad.
Okay, so next one I have, this would be a combo. They're in one, is the Will and the Lion Cat. This is from Saga. This is the...
I don't know anything about Saga, but I wanted to do so, but I don't have the knowledge.
I went through, I was like, who do I want to do from this? The Will, he's a bounty hunter. The Lion Cat's probably the most visually iconic thing from that story. You can do them both together. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And then my last 2 are also kind of spin-offs of each other. And these 2 are a little interesting. A little.
Okay.
One of them I think works better classically. I think the other one you gotta get a little bit weird for, but I'm here to get weird, and I'm here for giants of the industry to be represented.
Okay.
So next I have Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay, I'm assuming that she came from a comic first.
She did.
Okay.
She came from Archie Comics.
Archie Comics, right? Okay, I knew
which
that.
leads us to
Archie.
My next one, okay. Archie. Tell me Archie keeping that classic comic style, doing weird shit, wouldn't be as fun as Game.
No, it's cool. Absolutely. I don't disagree.
And I'm going to give full props. Hannah brought that up.
I'm sure. Because that sounds like the most Hannah shit I've ever heard.
I had the extra spots, and she was just like, well, aren't the guys from Riverdale based on a comic? And I was like, yeah, that's Archie. Archie should be here. He's very big.
This is my only argument against Archie and why I didn't go with it, because he's one of the first things I thought of. Like, genuine... If I'm going to be serious, it was... First thing I thought was the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Then Hellboy and Spawn, and then I thought Archie. Because I know Archie's massive. It's probably in the same realm of Scott Pilgrim, but I actually think less. I don't think Archie's a superhero.
He's not, but he's Archie.
I get what you're saying, but it's just to me it didn't count. But I wouldn't have counted Scott Pilgrim either. I'm fine with you being there.
Yeah, I think Scott Pilgrim is the one that can make like a legitimate argument for.
Yeah.
Archie, it's Archie. You're right, he's not, but it's Archie.
I don't hate it. The more I think about it now, I probably should have had Archie in my DLC. When I go with breaking the rules, I probably should have had Archie, but I didn't think about it. And you know what? I don't like to do this when we do these, but I think I will make that pivot. I'm going to drop a character from my DLC, and I will put in Archie.
All right.
I'm going to do that.
So who are your others? And then I'll give you someone that they can all fight.
Okay. So I have The Crow. Originally a comic, then it was a Hollywood movie in the 80s, and now they just remade it again. Crow is cool.
That is cool.
I have Rocketeer.
Okay.
Originally old school comic book character. And then I have Space Ghost.
I didn't know he was a comic version.
I know, neither did I. I learned that.
Okay,
that was one of the things I learned. And then the last one, maybe you didn't realize this guy's a comic book character, but he's massive. He's gotten like multiple movies, is in everything. I have Judge Dredd.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, he is. There were a couple of franchises that I knew were comics. I don't think he popped up on mine for it. I have something that I think is somewhat similar not in actuality, but in theming to Judge Dredd on the honorable mentions. I didn't want to bring someone over, but we'll get to those. So my big bad for DC, the idea is that this person either teams up with Ultron or has some influence over Ultron. It was going to be Darkseid, but I made a pivot. I have the Anti-Monitor.
You don't know how bad I wanted to do the Anti-Monitor, and I swore up and down you'd be like, yeah, that just doesn't make any sense. And I was just like, I don't want to have this argument. I love the Anti-Monitor. He's probably going to tell me I'm an idiot, and I didn't do it. I'm so happy you did that. That makes me so happy.
He is, while he has I don't think he has much influence except for this. He is the main villain of what is potentially one of the most ambitious and successful event comics of all time. Like, it just is what it is sometimes.
I love it. I love that decision.
That was going to be that. That went around and around. At one point, it was Darkseid. At one point, it was a corrupted Dr. Manhattan. Like, I went through a lot of different things. I was like, I can do the
Oh, so the Batman Who Laughs. Your villain was going to be the Batman Who Laughs.
Well, it was going to... Yes, but Ultron was going to be...
That's crazy. I know you love him.
But I was going to... Whatever. Just...
I'm kidding.
Good rosters. These are good rosters.
Yeah, I don't have any... I for the first time ever, I think your rosters... that's so disrespectful. I don't have any problem with anybody you put on your roster.
Okay. I like both the rosters. I think they're good. They got a lot of fun in them.
All right, are we doing DLC?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's do some DLC.
So your packs are differently set up than mine. I have a whole DC pack, a whole Marvel pack, and then a whole other pack.
Yeah. I have...
I'm fine with revealing my characters in the way that you have your pack set up, because I think the way you did it is better than mine.
Okay. So I have my packs. They are actual, like, theming. I kind of came up with... I was compiling characters that weren't in... that I think could be in... that weren't going to make the cut, and we would be DLC, and then we're seeing how they could fit together with themes and different stuff like that. Because I really like when a pack is themed. I like when they release pack, and I was like, this is this pack, and everyone is related. So, that is how these all work. The one that I'm actually going to get out of the way first is my pack 2, just because there's a lot. It's the pack that has the most matches with just what's in your roster already. Okay. So, it's called Aliens and Mutants. It was Professor X and Magneto. Now it's Storm and Magneto because I put Professor X up. So Storm, Magneto, Martian Manhunter, Hawkman, and then this is where I was going to have the Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I almost had Hawkman. He was the last guy that got cut between him and Martian Manhunter, who also made my DLC. Or actually, yes, he made my DLC, Martian Manhunter.
Is Martian Manhunter the only DLC I'm going to get from you after that?
No, if you want, I can just go. Okay, so what did you do? You did 2 DC, 2 Marvel, and then a third?
Yeah.
Okay. I have Martian Manhunter, so we matched there. I also, like I have already mentioned, my big bad thought was Parallax. I figured put him in the first thing of DLC, as the big bad is your first DLC character. So I have Parallax. I also have Dazzler.
Okay.
And some of these decisions were made off of who has kind of cool origins with them in comics or was significant to comics in some way, or at least that's how I tried to think of it. Dazzler was like planned to be in like 17 different Marvel comics and then never made it. And then finally, like 30 years later, she finally has become a character. So I thought that was neat. So I put in Dazzler. Plus, I'm an X-Men nerd. And it's cool that they just act like she always existed. That she was just a pop star from the 80s that nobody knew was a mutant until whenever. So her. I also, because she does his stick better than he does, I have She-Hulk. With breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that. And then my I have Savage Dragon. It is one of IDW's, I think it's their second original property. It's either their first or second original property that they made. Not bought off of somebody else, but people inside IDW made Savage Dragon. From what I understand. Maybe I'm wrong with what I just said. But from the digging that I did. Plus, he just is all green, has like a Finn mohawk head, and he's buff as shit. He looks cool as hell.
Yeah, fair enough.
Go ahead, but you're...
So, my next pack, who none of these 5 guys have been said yet, which is a little surprising, but not very surprising, if that makes sense. I call it the Tales of a Devil pack.
Oh.
And I have Daredevil, Ghost Rider.
I wanted to do Ghost Rider so bad. After I finished, I'm like, fuck, I didn't do Ghost Rider, and I felt bad about that.
Yeah, Ghost Rider was main at some point. And
I know.
Constantine.
I should have expected that.
Trigon.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then Grendel, who was a long-running, old-school independent comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. We're finally at person who got cut for Catwoman. Okay. It was between this person and Catwoman. I have Green Arrow. Because I think somebody who just uses a bow. It was between Green Arrow and Hawkeye originally, and then I was like, oh, I forgot. One of these guys is lame. So then I kept Green Arrow, and just a Smash Bros. Character that literally just uses a bow and is completely ranged sounds like the most infuriating but fun character to build ever. Now I have Swamp Thing. Yeah. Swamp Thing made my DLC. With Marvel, I have Spider-Gwen and I have Nimrod.
Okay.
I think Nimrod is amazing, and you know that because I've been I talk about Nimrod all the time.
Yeah. Common Tanner thread.
Yeah, and then. Captain Underpants is my other DLC.
I love Captain Underpants.
Price Peak.
Okay. Last pack. Have the Universal Crisis pack.
Okay.
I'm not going to hold you. This is going to be 5 just super powerful characters that people are going to complain aren't in this game at this point.
Can I take guesses?
Sure.
Is Superboy Prime 1?
No. Overrated as hell.
I like Superboy Prime.
He's good in the one book.
All right, go ahead. That was the only guess I had, I guess.
Okay. Darkseid.
Oh, well, you said that already. I didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
He's in my base roster, so I just didn't think.
Someone else who's in your base roster, Dr. Manhattan.
Okay.
Thanos. I'd assume we give him Infinity Gauntlet stuff, because why not?
I'm so stupid. I have Thanos in my base roster, and I never mentioned him.
Oh, well, there you go. Thanos is in his base roster.
Oh, my bad. He's literally in between Iron Man and Thor. I just completely missed him.
The Silver Surfer.
I wanted to do Silver. That's the property I omitted. I have nobody from the Fantastic Four, because I don't know who you do without putting all of them.
Yeah, I omitted Fantastic Four as well. And then the one that I made the joke about, a property that wasn't big until 10 years ago, I have no Guardians.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't care either.
And then my last one. So let's talk about this last one a little bit.
Okay.
So originally it was a guy called the Ice Cream Man. It's a horror anthology series he ended up getting cut, and here's why.
Yeah.
He was in the roster, it was final. Yesterday I was working on what our next one is going to be.
Okay.
And I was looking through, and I was just like looking through like the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, what were a bunch of like movies and TV shows that were superhero ones, and I was like, okay, and I'm looking up, and I came across one, and I was like, oh, he's got to be on the list. I pull it up, and I see, based on the newspaper comics of the same name, and I'm like, what? So as my final fighter, I have Flash Gordon.
I had Flash for a long time. Flash almost made it back into my roster this morning, and I was just like, I actually went... I haven't told you yet. Well, I did tell you that I broke a rule. or I did something that we didn't agree upon earlier, and you're going to be upset. I'll get to that right after this, but he was almost that character for me.
Okay.
So, my last pack, by the way, Flash Gordon Peak.
Well, yeah, of course.
My last one, it's going to be a 1 Marvel, 1 DC, and then 3 others. I have already been said, but I have the Comedian.
Yeah.
I think a guy, is just think about Snake, but more. And then my Marvel one that I think is really cool, because I had to get rid of the Wonder Twins, is like the the Ice Climbers character. And this is obviously not the Ice Climbers, but I wanted a character that is 2 characters in one. I have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Okay.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then my 3 others it's 3 manga characters. Okay. I think One Punch Man is massive, so I have Terrible Tornado, because I also think Kinetic Guy, girl, she's cool.
Yeah.
Probably the second most recognizable thing from that franchise is her, from what I see online. I then cut this other guy for Archie, but I had Bakugo from My Hero Academia, because Midoriya is just smaller All Might, and guy with explosion hands sounds cool, but he got cut for Archie.
Guy with explosion hands, I agree. Maybe would have done
Todoroki? The Fire and Ice guy?
The Fire and Ice, yeah.
He was the other one, but
I was thinking Tamagotchi, and I was like, okay, that's
Tamagotchi. And then this is the one that I told you, I was like, he's not a superhero, but he basically is. Yeah, okay. I have Kaiju number 8.
Okay. Yeah.
That is the me pick of the roster. I love him. I think, and his power set is so cool. Yeah. And he has a built-in Final Smash with losing control. So I think that's really cool. And then to end off my roster, my 66th character, I made a pre-order character.
Okay.
And it was between Flash Gordon, the Phantom, which is, from what I saw online, credited being the first ever superhero put on paper, or something like that. In a way, he's like the transition from
so there's
the James Bond.
Yeah,
kind of like, not specifically James
the pulp
Bond
heroes.
Yeah, those guys into superheroes. I was like, okay, that could be cool. Or I could just be really weird. And my pre-order character is Popeye the Sailor.
I love it.
They speak.
Yeah, I mean, so here's a couple of things that didn't make it for one reason or another.
Okay.
Whether it's,
I'm very excited for this.
So here I'm gonna run through the third party franchises and characters that either 1 got cut or 2 didn't make it because I didn't think it was gonna synergize, if that makes sense. So like Lord Draken was one of them, created for comics but was part of the Power Rangers IP.
Yeah.
A few other ones like that. Jenica, she's the 5th Ninja Turtle. Whisper and Tangle from the Sonic comics. A few others. I wanted to do
It's hard to do the ones that the original property wasn't a comic, but they're made from comics.
Yeah.
That's very hard, and I did. It's cool you did that. You mentioned that.
I really wanted to do someone from the Lock and Key books.
Okay.
But I could not hack it.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard.
Oh my god. I have a missing character. I just realized that.
What?
I have 2 missing characters. I'm so stupid. My others, I didn't finish.
Okay.
Because we got to Judge Dredd and I just said I was done. I have my Garen pick, as I have in every roster where he gives me a character that it needs to be. But I will do this other one that he brought up that I was like, no. And he's like, yeah. Put it in my face. I'm like, I guess that would be cool. And it wouldn't be a Smash game without a sword character. Of course. So I have V for Vendetta. It was originally a comic.
Yeah. That was an Alan Moore comic.
Yeah. And then, and he's like, it's Alan Moore. I'm like, it's Alan Moore? Yeah. I was like, that's peak. And then Garen's pick, Sandman from the Neil Gaiman.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not upset about either of those.
Yeah,
those are
bangers.
both great.
He had banger opinions this time. He also brought up Mouse. I don't know if you know those books.
Mouse.
Yeah. Mouse, yeah.
Yeah, I have
he
those
loves there. Yeah, he loves those.
Then Walking Dead. Sure.
Yeah.
Preacher, which is the one that aesthetically is a lot like Judge Dredd, but just wasn't going to hack. And then Ice Cream Man is obviously there. Another one, Snot Girl, is really weird and fun. A couple of Marvel names. I have this thing called the Blacklist, which is 10 DLC packs of Marvel and DC characters because I got bored the other day. I'm not going to run through the names of the packs and the themings and everything, but real quick.
Catwoman, Penguin, Red Hood, Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, Booster Gold, Ted Cord, Captain Atom, Power Girl, Green Arrow, Blue Beetle, Superboy, Red Tornado, Black Titan, Mr. Terrific, Dr. Fate, Zatanna, Black Adam, Spectre, Mr. Mystical,
No, I love Mr. Mystical.
Doc Ock, Electro, Vulture, Kraven, Sandman, not Storm because we put our hands like Deadpool, Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Falcon Flash, Captain America, Blade, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Captain Marvel, Wonder Man, Midnight Wasp, Black Widow, Nick Fury, Man-Thing, Red Hulk, and Sentry.
Galactus, Adam Warlock, Doomsday, and Brainiac.
There you go.
Do you have anything else you would like to
I
add?
did have a fourth DLC pack. It was called Yoshi Could Never.
I have a different fourth secret DLC pack.
And it was Beast Boy. She ended up getting caught up to the DLC, but Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Sauron, Dragon Man, and then Todd Ziller. The American kaiju.
Yeah. There's also the Secret Amalgam Pack, which is Super Soldier, Iron Lantern, Captain Marvel, Dark Claw, and Doctor Strange Fate, because I will never be able to get through a Marvel/DC related thing and not talk about the Amalgam comics.
They are good.
It just is what it is.
They are really cool.
All those last names unofficial. I know I just ran through an entire other Smash roster.
Facts. So what's the next one? Because this was fun. We didn't disagree. I don't like it that we didn't disagree, so we have to do something that will make us angry at each other. So what are we going to do?
You just flip the rules.
Smash game of only real people?
Write that down, write that down! Not what I had planned for next, but someone put this aside.
Oh my god, that would be so much fun.
I was going to say superhero Smash game, but this time ones that weren't comic based. So like your Power Rangers, your that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I have a roster of 30 already down. That's what I ended up working on yesterday. That's why I was researching. That's how I ended up at Flash Gordon. And then I was like, oh, you are comics based.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can make room over here. Like, who's it? Because you're not really a superhero. But Flash Gordon is. So yeah, that was the next one would be I think I pre-named it the extended edition, which is just
the opposite.
Yeah. Here's a bunch of ones that aren't.
It's a bunch of cartoon characters.
Kind of.
A lot of it, yeah. Alright. Next week, we will have what?
Oh god, next week? Well, next week we have Civil War.
Yep.
We'll have playoff updates. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll actually complain about Mania. I won't.
We don't care.
We
do not care.
I do not have the headspace to complain again. Do you have any final words besides I do not have the headspace to complain again? Oh boy,
do we have any final words? Yeah, I guess I do.
Was that it?
Yep.
Okay.